Hi, everybody. I'm doing a live chat here for my Patreon page, which is Patreon / Dr. Nancy. And I've been doing this for a few months now, and I'm starting to get a feel for what people want and how to keep my audience happy. But I would love to know more from you. When you go to a Patreon page or someone's account that you want to support, what is it that drives you to stay there? What are you looking for? I know that there's a difference between many of these crowdfunding or uh, fans only or OnlyFans or social media. And Patreon seems to stand apart in that it really is about supporting a person's body of work. And as a sexologist and a health educator, and also a sensualist and a sensual and erotic coach, I do all kinds of things. So I was under the impression that when people came to my page to support my work, that they knew something about what I did, and that their pledge to support my work really didn't have an expectation of what they were getting back for that. It wasn't like they were buying a membership to an OnlyFans page. And maybe that's the misunderstanding I have. So I'm looking for clarity on what people think that a Patreon page is for. And when you support it, what are you looking for? My idea was that if you came to my Patreon page, that you've maybe watched one of my videos. I do live videos every week with Karen Lee Potter. It's called Wild Women with Wine Show. And then I also have been doing a show called The Conscious Living Show for about 12 years. And that was on radio for 10 years and podcasts. And now in the last couple of years, we've taken it to video and live. So we're trying to expand our horizons on helping people live their finest life on their terms with respect and integrity, and also maybe learn something from my videos. I've also produced 5 yoga to go videos that we've filmed around the world. I teach what's called conscious living yoga. And so it really is a gentle, loving, self-reflective style of yoga that blends. I've been practicing yoga for about 25 years, and I had a yoga studio for 20 of those years. I also became a certified yoga therapist. So as a registered nurse and a health educator, a diabetes nurse specialist, a health and relationship coach, then I did a radio show on AM radio. And then I also wrote a sex and relationship column for a news cafe for many years. In 2012, I created an erotic film festival in Jamaica that was for women and those who adore them. And so that was another venture that actually led me to become a clinical sexologist, to go back to school to get my doctorate degree. I do private counseling. I have a private practice. But one of my main fun things to do is to create retreats around the world for women, men, and couples that really do. Actually, I should just say for people. It's men and women, those are irrelevant terms. So really for people around the world who really want to get in touch with their sexual freedom and their rights, and to know how to be in relationship with others, how to communicate. That's probably one of my specialties, is sensual and intimate communication. So these are just some of the things I do. And then I have a couple of YouTube channels. I've got social media up the wazoo. And so, to take my time to do these away from my private practice does require that I put a lot of energy and time into these. And so I was under the impression that when people supported my Patreon page, that's what they were supporting. So if you have input into maybe helping me understand if what I've written on my page is misleading, I want to know so I can reword it. And Let's see. So I do have a question coming in from someone. How often is it good to masturbate as a male? And these are really great questions. I love to get questions from people that maybe don't know who to ask these questions of. And that's what really a sexologist is somebody that you can ask these questions that maybe are a little bit tender and you're not really sure who you can trust. And so really to Viroxy, it's really about what is your needs, and there's no right or wrong. As long as you're still living your life and getting your work done and you're not hurting yourself in any way, like, masturbating so much that your penis is raw or hurting. But there's no wrong amount, and there's a lot of myths out there that around this about using porn, masturbation, and certainly you can become dependent on what works for you. It's not really what you would say is an addiction. It's more of a dependency, and we can get stuck in a rut. Like if every time you masturbate with porn, and you masturbate for 3 to 4 minutes before you ejaculate. What's happening is you're going to train yourself to ejaculate in 3 to 4 minutes, even when you're with a partner. And that may not work so well for your partner engagement. So I would say teach yourself about what all the ways that please you, from imagination and fantasy to reading erotic literature or erotic novels, to looking at porn or even still erotic images, having conversation with your partner about what is erotic and turns you on, and then learning about what turns them on. So I'm a big advocate of all people self-pleasuring throughout their lives, whether they're with partners or not, because that helps us stay connected to what's changing in our bodies, our likes and dislikes, so then we can better educate our partners. So that would be my answer to that. So I wanted to keep this short and just really get a feel for, what is it that you'd like to see on my Patreon page, and how may I help you? How can I serve you in creating the life that you desire, the relationships, the love, the sexuality, the pleasure, maybe you're just stuck in a rut in your work and you're wanting to know how to motivate, how to break patterns that aren't healthy for you. Let's talk about those. But go to my Patreon page. It's patreon.com/Dr. Nancy, and just check out my page and send me some feedback about what this implies to you and what you might hope to get from becoming a patron and supporting the body of work that I do. I look forward to hearing from you. This is a great time in our country where everything's turned upside down, which means that we get to have a little bit of a fresh start. So think about ways that you can contribute to the world in a healthy and positive way. Think about how would you like to be remembered? What would you like to leave behind? Would you like to make some difference, some positive difference in someone else's life? When we can think outside of ourselves rather than always thinking about what we're getting or not getting, oftentimes our attitudes and our emotions become a little bit more fun and more interesting, and we can pull ourselves out of any rut. So that's just a little bit from Dr. Nancy Sutton Pierce. You can go to my website, drnsp.com, find out everything about me, way more than you probably want to know. But I'm also open for counseling. I do 15-minute sessions and 50-minute sessions. You can find all of that on my website. And I look forward to seeing you on my Patreon to help me support the work that I do and that of my colleagues, especially Karen Lee Potter, who's working every day to make the world a sexier, smarter place for all of us to be. Have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you on some of my other social media. Thank you. Bye-bye.